Hey guys, welcome to Build Your Own Adventure. Today I'm going to give you a tour of our 34-foot gooseneck car hauler that we've converted into a camper. I'm going to start up front and I'm going to go all the way through. I'll go through the inside. It's going to be a pretty detailed review and it may last a little while, but I'll try to break it up into chapters in case you want to jump through. We are a year and about 3 months in. And we are probably, I'd say 95% done at this time. I highly doubt we'll ever get past 95% complete. We continue to change things all the time. But that's the fun of building your own trailer. When you go out camping, you decide that you need something or something's not working. So you can just tear it out and start again. All right, let's get started. So the trailer is a 2011 ATC Motive. The Motive series used a steel frame instead of aluminum, which ATC is known for. The trailer is 34 feet long, 8.5 feet wide, and it has an 8-foot tall interior. So it has tandem 6,000 pound axles on it. The payload is 6,712 pounds, and the gross vehicle weight is 14,400 pounds. So starting out, we needed to get an extension for our gooseneck hitch. We went with this 10-inch B&W extender. It's an Extend-A-Goose, and we had to have this for our short bed truck. And we also use it on our long bed because we have an air conditioner mounted here, and the straight shank caused issues with our tailgate going up and down. So we left this 10-inch extension on, and I can actually turn more than 90 degrees with our long bed, so it works out. I like the way the hitch works. It's it's just a simple lock and unlock deal. Very nice. The trailer came from the factory with a 30 amp connection. It is up front, which can be a pain at some campgrounds. The cord will reach the full length of the trailer, but it's really close and it's really tight. So we carry a heavy drop cord with us, and that does the trick. So this was just a solid piece of aluminum diamond plate. Before we left for a trip, I took all these down, or took the whole piece down and cut doors out. These are about as homemade and quick and easy as you can get. I ordered these latches here, basically like a toolbox latch. Pull that up. I had to add this terrible looking piece here in order for it to latch, but it does the trick. I reinforced them with these pieces of aluminum that came out of a tire rack that were in the trailer. And I don't have anything to hold this door up yet, but I'm gonna get some gas struts that will help assist that. So I'm going to hold this with my head while I try to show you the rest. Okay, so this is our Power Watchdog surge protector. So it's actually made for an exterior mount, so you would normally get to a campground and hook this up to the pedestal. I didn't really want that, and since I already had a 30 amp connection, I just came in behind it. I tied into that connection. I made a new end here. I made an end up here that goes to the panel box, and I just plugged it in inside. So it's protected, no one can steal it, and out of the way. So I didn't know it at the time, but when you connect a generator to the system, the Power Watchdog will not work with a generator for some reason. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but what I've done is unhook this, unhook that, plug those together just like it would have come from the factory without a surge protector, and the generator works fine. It bypasses the surge protector and everything's good. So the advantage to the Power Watchdog over any other surge protector is that it has a Bluetooth app and you can monitor any kind of usage. So you log into the app and it tells you exactly how much power you're using and what's going on in the system. If you ever have an error, it will give you a code here, and you can look that up and you'll know what's going on. So on the inside, obviously we store all kinds of stuff, toys. There's a little air compressor, little storage box, got little tools and things like that in it. Water hoses, a grill, a fan. There's our extension cord in the back of the shower panel. And you got about 18 inches of space here to store things. The bottom is open. I don't know if you can see the expanded metal there under that air pump. That goes all the way across. And that allowed us to put our propane in here. If you ever have leaks, propane is heavier than air, so it should leak out of the bottom. Did a lot of research on that. Should be okay. And a little rough closing, but you know, homemade stuff just does that. All right, so after a few trips, we decided that we needed some sort of outside shower to wash off with. So we installed this. I bought this on Amazon. It's very easy to install. It has a water hose connection here. No water's hooked up, so it's not gonna work. So anyway, I just leave it hooked here on the air conditioning mount. It reaches all the way around to the door, so we can spray our feet off when we're going in and out. Super nice, very helpful. It has hot water and cold water. You can shower off here. When we're on the road, just unhook that, put it in the storage, and this closes up, and it looks like that. Okay, that brings us to our pride and joy. So this is our Pioneer mini split. It's a 12,000 BTU, and yeah, it has heat and air. It's amazing. It's super quiet. We built this mount. A buddy of mine had these panels bent for us, and all I did was bolt everything together. Originally I was going to weld it all up, but this has worked so far. I will say these mounts started cracking, which I did tighten it down pretty good. That's the only thing I can really complain about, and it's not even really a complaint. So let's see, this side maybe? Yeah, so we just bolted it straight to the frame. Had these two supports. So basically we went through, when we first got the trailer, we painted any piece of steel that we could get to easily with rust converter. That's what all this is. It's not black paint, it's rust converter. Did the same thing with the air condition mount. It's starting to show some rust, so I guess that didn't work all that well, but anyway, it's not bad. Just need to go over it again. So one of the most intimidating parts is putting windows in. This is up front in the gooseneck area. I believe it's a 22 by 30, maybe a 20 by 30. I'll leave a link below for every part we used in the build, so you can check that out, find the exact size that it is. When we purchased the trailer, there was a vent here for the batteries that were mounted inside, so I just made a little cover out of aluminum and covered that up. There is a generator box, but we do not have a generator in it. We had to make some big decisions there in the beginning of where we're going to put storage. And as I showed you earlier, we have storage up front, but we also have storage here. It's probably 18 inches deep, something like that. We keep all our chairs in here. We have a table, and behind that is a spare tire. Let's see if I can slide the camera in there. So that's our spare tire, and I have it mounted to the frame of this box on the inside. So that's really nice. It works really well. We have a generator, but we just put it in the back of our truck. This is the crank for the landing gear, and this is a giant headache. So eventually I hope to add hydraulic landing gear, and that will be so nice. I cannot wait. This is the vent for the tankless hot water heater. I'll show you that when we get inside. Had to cut a giant hole in the side of the trailer to get this in and seal around it. It wasn't that hard, but man, it was not fun. So this is our second window, and both the windows on this side are new. I believe this is a 22 by 48. Again, I'll put a link below for that. Again, very intimidating to do, but turned out nice. It doesn't leak. Everything's great. So this is our freshwater port. This is where we hook our water hose up, and we can fill our freshwater tanks or just run water into the trailer. So the back side is this beautiful shiny aluminum. It does have a cloudiness to it, which I hope to polish out at some point. But really on the back, all we did was add a light and a rear view camera, which was very nice. The light's very nice, but it's very bright. We don't really use those at a campground, but more at home when we're loading up the trailer, doing things like that. We have two more on this side. Again, we use them at the campsite every now and again. I have a separate switch for the ones on the side from the one on the back. They're really nice, but they're really bright, so be warned if you get them. You may not want to use them at a campground. If you're boondocking somewhere, they'll be awesome because they light up a ton of space. But anyway, they're very nice, just a little brighter than we expected. So on this side, we've added a Carefree of Colorado altitude awning. It is 21 feet. It has Bluetooth. It's really nice, and I'll put it out in just a second. We bought the white arms with the gray fabric. It needs to be cleaned up a little, but we'll get there. Now this side we added a used window, and it is the same size as the other, 22 by 46 or something along those lines. One thing I didn't like about the width of these is that this support that's behind the wall had to be cut out, and we had to splice in a new piece. When I replaced the windows, I did go in and add supports underneath and on the sides. I welded 1-inch tubing in. I highly recommend that if you're gonna look into doing this, have it welded in, because you want that support. You want the extra support because you're losing some. You're gonna have to cut out supports in the middle of these, so you definitely need that extra support going back. We knew the tires were original when we bought the trailer, so we upgraded to these black Lions. They are BF155ST, and they are 235 80/16s, and they're 14 ply, which means you pump them up to 110 psi. So far, I'm not really sure how far we've pulled with these. They have been bulletproof, and it's nice having a tire up here that you know will last, you don't have to worry about. So we also added this grab handle. Getting in and out of this thing is mostly easy, but sometimes it can be a pain. You can just pick it up and close it. Pick it up and move it like that when you're gonna haul, when you're gonna tow it. And gives you a little extra peace of mind also that the door stays closed. Probably not strong enough to hold the door, honestly, but makes you feel good about it. This trailer does have a 4-foot door on it. So the aluminum step that came with the trailer was actually mounted in this tubing. We lifted the trailer, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. So I just came underneath, and none of this is painted yet, so it looks really bad. And I came underneath and I just added a new channel. I welded it all on. Again, I need to come under here and grind all that rust off and paint it, and I will eventually. But that lowered the step a couple inches, and that really helped out. This is the Carefree app. I have to hold it up here so you can see it. Gonna hit extend, and then there's the magic. So it is a little rainy today, so I'm gonna put this thing right back in once it goes out. But it's all automatic. You hit the button once, either inside with the regular switch or on your phone. It goes out. It gets to a certain point and it flips back. And normally the little piece on the end that hangs down, it falls over, but since everything's wet, it's not going to. So hit retract and the same thing. Starts going in. You can adjust the angles with this piece here. So you know, if it's raining, if it's raining lightly, don't do this in heavy rain. You can lower one in and it'll drain the water off. It's decently fast. I've never really had a complaint about how fast it goes out or in. It seems great to me. So far it's been awesome. We really love it. Still don't trust it in wind, and I don't think that you can trust any awning in the wind. So just be warned if you do buy one. Put it in if the wind starts blowing. Okay, underneath, I'm at the front, and these are my 2 water lines that go to the shower, the outdoor shower. That's my step. Over here we have a gas line. I use the black iron, I believe is what it's called. Something like that. Here's the plumbing for my shower, which when I installed it over a year ago, I did not expect to hold up. We've had 0 issues. Nothing's hit it. I thought for sure the first trip we went on, something would bounce up here and hit that PVC and blow it apart. We've been good to go. I do have plans in my mind. I don't know if I'll ever do it, to put a plate below this to kind of block it off, protect it a little, and I'm gonna have to do something for keeping it from freezing, which last year I just filled it full of RV antifreeze, and that seemed to do the trick. Everything was good. So our first gray tank is literally gray, and it's actually an aluminum box that was used for the spare tire storage on the original setup. Holds about 30 gallons, and I have a video of me trying to seal this thing up, and honestly, I didn't know if it would work, but it's been great. It works well. So here's our black tank. It's on the driver's side. It is a 30-gallon tank. So I use this aluminum tubing to run underneath the edges. Hopefully you can see this. But I used it to run under the edges of the tank. That's what's holding it up. I painted the outsides black just to blend in a little better. Okay, here's our dump valve. We've got the gray tank valve here on this side. That runs over to the aluminum tank that was here originally. And then we added another 30-gallon tank. It's the same tank as the black tank. So we have 60 gallons of gray water, 30 gallons of black water. That's plenty, even for a family of 5. That'll last us about 2 days. If you're boondocking, well, we haven't boondocked with the whole family, but if we're just camping at a site, I usually dump the tanks about every 2 days if it's full hookup. If not, we can get by on a weekend if we shower quickly, and maybe not shower at all, but you know, we try not to do that. Here we have low point drains for cold water, one for the hot water. That's our black tank valve. So yeah, for our waste tanks, that's our system. It has worked really well. This sits pretty low, but I lifted the whole trailer 2 7/8 of an inch, and so far we've been okay. So I've only scrubbed this one time that I can think of. Right here is a lifting block, and these are used on torsion axles like I have to lift the trailer up. Like I said earlier, it's 2 7/8 of an inch of lift. That really made a huge difference with our tanks being low to the ground, and everything has held up great. No issues with alignment so far. Tires are wearing normally, it seems. So that's worked out. Okay, so here we have our freshwater tanks. We do have 3 20-gallon freshwater tanks. And I believe I'm gonna add at least one more, maybe two more. That depends. I had all the vents run together in my video made of this. Since then, I have changed all of those. I put valves on them. Let's see if I can back up enough. And they are in test mode right now. And I say that because we've only used the tanks once. So I just kind of left them like this. Everything's held up. But the reason you put valves on there is so when you fill your tanks up, you close these valves up, and while you're running down the road, you're not losing a lot of water. When you get to the campsite, you need to open the valves back up so everything can breathe. But that's worked really well. So this is the drain for the freshwater tanks. Pretty simple. Just reach up here if I can get to it. Open it up, drain out the water. So while I'm under here, I know someone's going to mention it. Why have you not coated underneath the floor? That's going to rot away. Everything's going to fall apart. The floor is going to fall out. Well, I don't believe in that. I think that you want to leave this uncoated, or if you insulate under here, I think that's great, but just leave a gap there underneath the floor so any moisture that gets in, hopefully it'll leak out. I just feel like if you coat that with something that's waterproof, it's going to trap moisture in that board eventually, and it's going to rot away faster. This stuff is Advantech, I believe, which is supposed to be waterproof. Now, I have a hard time believing that, but it's held up great. I have no issues with it. So far so good. I do worry a little bit about where these tanks are just smashed up in there. But you know what? We'll see. We'll see how it holds up. Like I said, a year and 3 months, we've been okay. That's not a long time, but either way. Let's get out of the rain. Let's show you the inside. So when you walk in, first things first, we have our steps here. They're made out of pallet wood with a polyurethane coating on the top steps. The front side, we didn't coat them with anything. The wall there, same deal. We have our barn door for our bathroom. So we just have a little simple latch here to hold it when we're traveling. And then, of course, you close it. We got this little guide that holds it down on the bottom. That's our barn door. Closes the bathroom off. There is a bit of a gap, but it's nothing major. So, in the steps, we have storage. A fan there. And then the bottom step, we have shoes. And that's a pretty long, deep drawer there. Up front is the kids' room. This ugly thing here, those are the lines that go to the mini split, which we have mounted over the door. We'll get to that in a minute. The plan from the start has been to build some sort of cover over this. As you can see, we've never done that. Hopefully, we will eventually. We'll see. So here we are. We have 3 kids, and we built this bed to hold all 3. And yes, that is a chainsaw on the back. So we have a bed here, TV in the back. We have plugs, outlets on each corner. We have another over here in the electrical closet. We have another bed and another bed. The curtains here are made of pillowcases. The kids tie-dyed those and we hung those up. They turned out very nice. Under each bed I have storage. Of course it starts here and it goes all the way to the back. They mostly work well. This drawer works the best, I believe. So it's a huge storage area. The kids put their clothes there. Toys, whatever they want to bring, they have plenty of room to bring that. So the wall here is painted with chalkboard paint. Kids draw on that every now and again. That turned out well. Move these things over. There's the switch for the room. So we use these flush mount LED lights. They're really nice, a lot brighter than we expected. We thought we'd have to use at least 2 or 3 up here. We only have one, and it does plenty. It's plenty of light for this area. In front of Paige's bed, we have the electrical closet, and it is a mess at the moment. It has been for a while. This is one of the areas that I would really like to upgrade. So eventually I'd like to add a large amount of batteries here. So for the moment, we've got these lithium iron phosphate, well, this one lithium iron phosphate 30 amp hour battery. I actually bought another, and I was running those together, but I don't know, they just didn't seem to work well together. Something was going on. I had this actually it's a 5.5 amp charger, and it does have a lithium setting. So that's what we're charging with. It's really slow, but it works, and we're normally plugged in most of the time. When we boondocked at the racetrack the other day, that's when we really noticed the weakness in the battery and the charger, which I really expected, but I had a generator, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. So down at the bottom, we have an automatic transfer switch. This switches between the inverter and the shore power. So if you plug one in, when you plug the shore power in, if the inverter's on, it doesn't mess anything up. It just switches automatically, and we're good to go. There's our switch panel. There's the 12 volt fuse panel. Nothing to it except a big bird nest. So this is the inverter we're using. Is 1500 watt pure sine wave. It's worked really well for us. We don't have a lot to run at the moment. I'm not trying to run a whole lot off of it, but it runs the refrigerator. It'll run TVs. It runs, I have turned the mini split on just to see if it would do it, and it did when I had both batteries in. It did start it up and all, but I turned it right back off because I know we don't have the capacity, and there's no need in trying that. So as you come down the stairs, we have the indoor unit for the mini split. Again, it's a Pioneer 12,000 BTU. We did not get the 220 unit. We got the 110 just so we could still run our 30 amp system, and it's worked really well. It's extremely efficient, and it does a great job. I feel sure we are maxed out for the size of trailer and the size of the mini split unit, but it works well for us. One thing I added was this spring here, because the door kept flying open and hitting the awning. So straight across from the mini split and the door, we had the bathroom. As you can see, we installed a Dometic toilet. I built this cabinet to go here. Originally, well, still in the plans, I suppose, we're going to paint this possibly to match the kitchen. Not really sure, maybe white. Leave this natural. So anyway, we have a decent amount of storage under here. There's our plumbing. Crazy shaped countertop. That took some time to build, but we got it worked out. We have a medicine cabinet here. Of course, we got medicine cabinet things in there. Couple towel hooks. Have our Max Air fan, and this thing has been amazing. Really love it. Has rain sensors. It has an automatic setting. We have this remote control here for it. You can, when you turn it on, it opens up and pulls a ton of air. You can change all the settings on it. Right now it's at 50% power. You can turn that up and down, obviously. You can set it on automatic. So I have it set for 78. Right now it's 68 in the trailer. When it gets up to 78, the fan turns on automatically and evacuates the heat. It's very nice. Of course, we've got our switch here for the light. A few more shower hooks for us, or towel hooks for us. We got this fancy contraption here. to hold our shower curtain up. And the bar for our shower curtain is 3/4 inch pecs. I had some of that left over from plumbing. So the shower, we used, we got this waterproof board here, and I can't think of what it's called at the moment. But anyway, we just put a few screws in the top and glued the back side, hung both of those, and ran a bead of caulk down the corner. There's our shower controls and the shower pan. It's a 36-inch corner shower. It has been awesome. It's very solid. Drains well as long as you're level. It's nice. Got a lot of room to move around. So this is the generator box. So we have our outdoor furniture, chairs and things stored there on the other side of that. So on top of that, we had all this room. The opposite side is the electrical closet, and this side is our closet for towels and things like that. So I have a controller for our inverter that I've just left here. Move it back and forth every now and again, but this makes it easy to turn the inverter on and off when we're getting ready to leave. Up top, we've got these angled panels that cover up all the electrical wiring, things like that. This one looks horrible right now because it has a primer on it, and we're going to paint it white to match the walls. So as you leave the bathroom, you come out here, we've got a little rack to hold keys and sunglasses. This is our remote control for our heat and air mini split unit. This is our control for the awning, and these are the controls for the lights. That's the interior lights, exterior side lights, and exterior backlight at the ramp. Of course, you got to have a fire extinguisher, and that's where we keep our trash can. On the other wall, got the big straw hat and coat racks, coat hangers. We do have a vent up there. It is an original vent. I'd love to replace it eventually with one of those Max Air fans. Above our kitchen, we have shelves with these baskets. We found this to be a lot easier than building cabinets up top. We wanted to reduce weight, and these are really easy to pack up and take inside when you're done camping, or when you're getting ready to camp. You can pack them up inside our house and bring them out here, and they're already ready. So we built the cabinets with 1x2s and just really thin paneling. Built the doors the same way. We used I think it was, I don't know, a pine countertop. I can't remember what it is. We just bought a board, and we used polyurethane. My mom coated it like 8 times. That's all we did there. It was like a cabinet grade board, I believe, from Lowe's. The sink and the faucet came from Amazon. Really nice, very deep. You can get all kinds of pots and pans in here, which we do often. Of course, the sink has the extended deal there. We did turn this out forward because if we had it sideways like it's supposed to be, we were hitting the wall when we're trying to use hot water or cold water. So anyway, that was still, that worked out well. We didn't like it at first, but we don't really pay attention to it anymore. Works great. We put these pod lights under the shelves. That really helps you get a good amount of light under here when you're trying to prep for cooking, or in the morning when you don't want to turn the main lights on. It's really nice. Built this little spice rack out of basically just scraps we had. The wife was happy about that, so that works. Of course, we have our paper towel holder. So on the countertop, we have an outlet, of course. We have switches for the lights under the shelves. And then this is the water pump switch. On this side, we have a cutting board. And underneath, we have a 2-burner stove. So one of the sacrifices that my wife made when we were building this was not to use a RV stove, because it would have taken this entire area up. So we went with the cooktop that's under there. And then she got a toaster oven, and we use this often I give her a hard time because it uses a ton of power, but it's really great. It works really well, does the job. We do have to move it off the shelf and put it on the floor when we travel because this thing will flip off of that shelf. So with the torsion axles on this trailer, most everything else doesn't move at all. It's crazy how soft it rides, I suppose, but that toaster oven will not stay there. On the side here, we have these little baskets. Usually we have bananas and fruits and things like that in there when we're traveling. Inside the cabinets, just keep a random stuff that you keep under cabinets. And inside here, we have our tankless hot water heater. I've got a full episode on installing that and cutting the giant hole in the wall, putting these lines in. Those are water lines that go to the bathroom, the sink, and those go to the back. And we have a CO2 alarm detector, whatever it is. On this side, so on this opposite side, that's where we keep all our pots and pans, things like that. Ashley is going to try to do a more detailed video of how she keeps her kitchen organized, and I'll leave that up to her. Let me move some things out of the way, and I'll show you some more of the workings in the plumbing. So under the cabinets, we have our 12-volt pump for the water. Has a little strainer. This line here goes down and under to the freshwater tanks. This is a fill line, so the water comes in from outside, runs down here. When I open this valve, it fills the tanks. Once the tanks are filled, we'll use the pump. We have to turn this off, and you'll use the pump, of course, to pump water. And it pumps water through this one-way valve into the rest of the trailer. When we're using it at a campground or anywhere that has a water outlet, of course, this valve stays closed and everything is fed in that direction, and none of this has water going to it. We had to put this one-way valve in because I didn't have it in at first, and water was slowly going through the pump and filling our tanks up. So that one-way valve was pretty important. We've had no issues since then, and this has worked really well. Okay, so we built this pedestal to get our dorm fridge off the ground a little ways. It is shorter than a normal fridge, but it does have a lot of space. Can't remember the size right off, but it's decent. It's as big as an RV fridge, and it works really well. Like I said, we run it off the inverter, and that just works great. So, very nice. It was about $200, which is way cheaper than an RV refrigerator. It's a Thompson. So across from the kitchen is our bar with the nice view. We originally had 4 bar stools here, but it was getting crowded, and we just removed one. We eat here. Usually the kids sit here and eat. And again, it's very nice. Of course, this gets cluttered through the weekend, but it works. I made a point to have an outlet here, one here, and then one down here, because while we are camping, we still use a lot of electronics, and we're always charging something, and it's just nice to have. So there's our older window. The 2 bottom pieces open up on that. So under the bar, we use the same supports that we used on the under the cabinets or above the cabinets, and I feel like that tied in nicely. So here we have our futon that can be made into a bed, our window that is an emergency exit, more curtains made of pillowcases as well as the ones over the bar. We have our Murphy bed that it's like we go camping and use it, it works, but then we come home, we take it back down. That's why it's not finished. That's why it looks the way it does. We take it down, we adjust things, we build back. It's been a process. Just put this new support system under there. Ignore the straps, they're just there for tying things down when we're traveling. There's actually a frame behind that, and I put pallet wood in front of it, and hopefully that'll support the bed a little better than the last piece did. We used these cooler straps to hold the bed up against the wall. I put an outlet there because originally I was going to have a lift bed in this area, and eventually maybe we will again, who knows. I have another outlet here. If you're getting ready to build, put as many outlets as you can because you're going to need them. Of course, we have our TV. There's an outlet behind that, somewhere back there. And this is the back door, the ramp. We did talk about trying to cover that up somehow, but we left it like it is. It doesn't really bother us, so we're going to leave that there. Now I'm going to take the Murphy bed down so you can see that. So the Murphy bed sits a lot lower to the floor than I hoped, but in order for it to flip all the way up, it is basically maxed out up there. So that's where it kind of had to be. It works out well, it sleeps good, and it serves its purpose. And it gets out of the way when we need it out of the way. So that's about it. There's still a lot of trim, a lot of gaps and things, some paint we need to do. In fact, we have these covers that are red because it came like that. And we're having a little debate here, and I need you guys' opinion on it. Do we paint these things white or leave them red? I say leave them red because it's a pretty cool reminder that we are in Big Red. My wife wants to paint them white. So one more thing, we have another vent here, and it's the original. It will be replaced eventually, but it's just not happening. Got to get the funds to do it. As far as the ceiling, we have one light in each panel. That puts off plenty of light. I think it looks great in here as far as light goes. There's a view of the whole place. And I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. We have a little more coming. Do want to put storage and a fireplace right here below the TV. So like an entertainment center. That would be pretty cool. So guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the tour of the trailer. If you have any questions, be sure to comment and I'll get back to you. If there are any parts of the trailer you want to see in more detail, let me know. And I'll be glad to make a video of that when I have time. It may take a little while. If you're looking into doing a cargo conversion, there's lots of good information out there. Of course, check out YouTube and ask a bunch of questions, and it's worth it. It's worth every penny you'll spend on it. It is going to cost more than you think, and it is going to take longer than you think, but it's totally worth it. You can build it the way you want it, and it's going to hold up as long as you build it to hold up. So thank you for watching. Be sure to check out our other videos. Please subscribe to the channel, and have a good one. See you.